My husband makes me laugh. That is the best quality for 35 years of marriage, and it's kept us together.
It's the number one reason why people stay married, for sure.
So lots of women have patterns when it comes to attracting different kinds of men. And unfortunately for a lot of these women, these patterns are not working for them. How can we help women to break these patterns and start new ones?
I call it having a broken picker, because a lot of times I find that clients will go out and pick the same kind of person, tell you, no, it's not the same person, but it's the same type of person, just in different skin. And so what I ask people to do is to really sit back and take a look at early patterns. I think you have to look at early relationship patterns. Where do they come from? How were you raised? And as one example, I have a client who was raised in a family where there was arguing all the time. And she didn't like it, but that's what she was comfortable with. And then she couldn't understand how she kept getting with guys who argued with her all the time, or who raised their voice. She didn't like it, but I said, you know, you don't like it, but it becomes comfortable.
A lot of times, though, men end up answering one of those women's core needs. So whether it's sexual, emotional, you know, there's whatever she's really wanting, he'll address. But then all these other things don't get answered. Her other needs don't get met. So she ends up sacrificing a lot of that, a lot of what she really wants. And it just for that core need.
So also go in places that are different than the places you normally go. If you want to meet different people, you're not going to meet them, you know, if you go into the same places.
So changing your habits.
Changing your habits, maybe finding what's really important to you now or what's of interest now, and stretching your comfort zone, going a little bit out on a limb and making yourself a little more interesting to find people who are on that wavelength, not the same wavelength that the other guys were on.
Go take a class that you never would in a million years go take, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. So in addition to bettering yourself and learning a new skill, anybody that you meet there is also trying to better themselves and learn something new. But also from a human relations standpoint and interpersonal dynamics, everybody's starting on a level playing field. Nobody knows anything about what they're about to learn. So the best idea I have always is a cooking class, because it's interactive and you oftentimes partner up and team up. But you get to see how they're going to act and react towards different things that happen. Do they get pissed off really quick and have no patience? Do they try to lead and they don't listen? And you can see all these things take place.
And if you were the one who cooked all the time, going to a cooking class and finding a guy who likes to cook, that would be a way to change it.
I am the cook all the time, and this is my secret thing. What are you doing? We're here recording.
Get them to visualize that different person. So we go into visualization exercise, and it always comes out that there's terrible discomfort. So I say, you know, visualize a person who's giving to you, who's loving, who's interested in you, who listens, and I'll get the response, I am really uncomfortable. And that's where we can start to surface, well, this is what you said you want, but yet you're really uncomfortable. How can you get yourself to be comfortable saying, I deserve a relationship like this. I am worth a relationship like this. So on the surface, where it just seems like I keep picking bad partners, you know, you keep clicking down and there's a whole lot beneath it.
Well, and I think too, what's really important for people to understand is that it's a pattern that's not happening to them, but through them.
Right.
And they need to see how they are co-creating the situation, which most people just like to say, oh, can you believe this happened to me again? Same type of guy. Well, you know, you have to look at what is my behavior that is attracting this? And that sometimes is uncomfortable. You know, it really does boil down to changing your behaviors. Like you said, take a new class, do new things, try new things, and take a stand for what you want in your life.
How would you like your life to be? What are the qualities in someone that you would like to have that you haven't had before?
Yeah.
And which qualities are really important? Is it how they look, or is it who they are? Is it how they relate to you and how they treat you? Or is it who they are with everybody? Is it that integrity? My husband makes me laugh. That is the best quality for 35 years of marriage, and it's kept us together.
It's the number one reason why people stay married.
Yeah,
for sure.
Even when he drives me nuts, he makes me laugh. That's important.
So if you're out there and you're picking you, I'm talking to you, if you're out there and you're picking someone who isn't going to treat you right, you're making an active selection of somebody that is going to treat you what you think you're worth. And if you want them to love you and respect you, you can start by loving and respecting yourself.
My first mentor said something to me once that I will never forget. He said, the first time that something happens to you, you're a victim. The next time you're a volunteer. And when we can get our clients or people we know to see that, I'm showing up for this, I'm showing up for my misery. You know, that makes a difference.
It really does. So it sounds like when it comes to this question of your picker's broken, the big answer here is that women have to understand who they are and what they want from relationships, and sometimes that requires taking a journey backwards and figuring out why your choices are the choices that you're making, what your deal breakers are, what your negotiables are, and kind of move from there. But the bottom line is you're never going to change a relationship pattern unless you take responsibility for changing it.